Dream Season series has been and will always be a mainstay for Drury Outdoors. Dream Season 7 is no different. You'll be intrigued to hear how each hunt was the highlight of someone's season. Drury team members open their hearts and souls to divulge personal thoughts and emotions as we take a special look back on how they got started at an early stage in their hunting career. The human side of hunting is near and dear to our hearts and will never be lost. We firmly stand behind the great heritage and vow to support this privilege with respect. We hope that you enjoy Dream Season 7.
We have so many positive sides to what we do as outdoor video producers. One of the negative sides that we have, though, is just time away from friends and family, particularly Tracy and Taylor. I miss them dearly. Okay, looking forward to seeing you. Bye-bye, love you too. Tonight, I'm gonna take Taylor out on a youth hunt in Missouri here. And Tracy's bringing her up. I haven't seen them in over a week, so I'm excited to see them, and I'm excited for Taylor's hunt. We went last year, didn't have any luck. So we're gonna meet at John Williams' cabin. John's gonna take his grandson, Zach. I'm gonna take Taylor. It ought to be fantastic. Good, there's a buck right here. Look, 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 look. Look. See him, Taylor?
No. Oh, whoa, that's a big one.
We were gonna go to North Missouri to John Williams' place. John's been a friend of mine and Terry since the mid-'80s. I used to turkey call against John. Met him down in Oklahoma like in '83 or '84.
I've known Mark for probably 20 years. We used to competitively call turkeys together.
You know, he's got such a beautiful place in North Missouri, and he and I put this thing together for Zach and Taylor. Zach's his grandson, Taylor's my daughter, obviously, and John worked real hard all summer to get the place ready. You going with us?
Probably not if I have all this perfume on.
I've got a solution. I decided to hit him with a little carbon blast. That'll take care of that perfume and that shampoo.
My eyes.
No, it's not going there. They're girls, and I'm a hunter. Both Zach and Taylor are 8 years old, and I think they were both pretty excited to get out there and get in those houses that John had built. So it's me, Tracy, Jared, and Taylor in one blind. It's John, Zach, and Scott Dickhouse in another blind.
This is the second year for the Missouri youth season, and it means a lot for me to hunt with Zachary, my grandson. He's been hunting with me since he's 3 years old.
Taylor Drury, are you on there? We decided to have communication because we were about a mile apart up and down John's bottom where he's got these little bottom biologic fields planted.
We started hunting out of the box blind just last fall, and I told Mark that it would be an ideal situation to film the little guys actually trying to harvest a deer.
Zach, there's some does over there. They got a pretty good buck with them too, okay? He's 104 yards. We've been practicing that, but let's let him get a little closer, okay?
We've been practicing Zach at 100 yards, but you know, when you're actually shooting, 100 yards is quite a ways for a little guy like this. The deer did present a broadside shot, but Zach opted to, you know, maybe wait till the deer got a little closer, and for just no reason at all, they cleared the field.
Now there he goes. I don't know why he's leaving, Zach. The wind's going this way. We didn't do anything to scare him. There might be some other deer running around up on the hillside. Okay.
Zach was disappointed when the deer cleared the field, and I assured him that we'd see something, you know, before dark, if not that deer, another deer. And about 4 o'clock, I looked to the left. I saw what I still believe to be the same buck come right back in.
Get around here real slow. I think it's the same one that was there earlier. See, get your gun out, get ready. Get ready. Don't make any noise. Brad.
What a...
He hit him,
Yeah.
didn't he? Were you right on him?
Yeah. I hit his... I hit him right here.
Right on the shoulder?
Yep. I hit him right behind it.
Taylor put you on there? Yeah, Zach just hit one. I knew that Zach had made a pretty good hit on the deer when the deer left the field the way he did. Didn't leave a lot of blood, but he only went about 40 yards.
Well, congratulations. You boiling on that. That's a nice thing.
It's the first day of youth season. We came out this afternoon, and this buck came out about 20 after 2, I guess, with a couple does just off the point down here. And we were just watching him, trying to get him to get a little bit closer, and then they just exited the field. And we look up, and this buck comes in, and we grunted him and stopped him, and you made a perfect shot on him. And he went about 40 yards, and that was it. So you've shot your first deer. Are you happy?
Yeah.
I'm
really
happy, little boy. Nice deer.
We couldn't be more tickled for Zach. I mean, to kill that first buck, that was awesome. Wasn't long, things started heating up down at our blind. They came out really close. Taylor was so excited to see those deer, and I think I was probably a little more excited. Man, my heart was pumping. I know Tracy's was. It's time for the shot. Missed it.
You missed?
Yeah, missed it. That's all right. That's all right. Shoot. Just missed it. You know, it must run in the family, because I've missed, Terry's missed, you know, and Taylor missed that deer. She was very, very close, but I could feel her heart beating. She was just trembling. She was so nervous, and that's part of it, but what an introduction to the sport. That's just like Dad right there. Had the miss behind us. Hey, let's go celebrate the evening. Let's go see Zach's deer. What a joyous time. We had our first deer hunt where Taylor got a shot tonight. Zach killed one, she missed one, so she wanted to go see Zach's buck. And we're all gonna get in on the fun tonight. Last year we went and didn't get one. This year she had a miss. We're going back after him though. We're not gonna give up. You know, I remember when I first started hunting, and now I'm entering a new stage in my life, and I'm watching my daughter Taylor start hunting. And it's a whole new chapter. I mean, I remember taking her out when she was just a little bitty thing. It was Easter Sunday. Mom sent me to the store to go get some milk, and Taylor went with me. She's in her little red Easter dress, and I couldn't resist. I had to take her out in the woods and just see if we could make a turkey gobble. Get him one more time. Still got one. Did you like that, Taylor? We've gone fishing together so much, and had so many times.
Fish!
Oh, you did it, Taylor. But this year, I was bound and determined to get her on her first deer hunt, and it ended up being one of the most awesome things a father can go through with their child. We've got lots of room for our whole family here. We're thinking about moving in one of these. You like this, Taylor? That's a pretty good buck, honey. He's following those does out. They're coming this way, which is what we want. He's a nice buck. There's another buck coming out, honey. Big one, he's coming. You know, we had a little confusion there. I mean, here's two bucks. One buck goes left, one goes right. That's a tough position for any hunter, much less Taylor at age 8. I was really confused as to what to do there. Gosh, that was close. That's as close as you can get, babe. What you thinking of? Did you want to shoot one? You were close. You did good, though. You aimed. You didn't take a bad shot. You waited. Do you want to shoot a doe now? You still want to shoot a doe? Okay. Well, if we get a chance, we'll shoot a doe. Your heart's beating.
I got her.
You got her. You got her.
I didn't.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah, you did, sweetie. I think you did.
You got her. We're gonna shoot her again. You got her again. You got her again. You got her, Taylor. She's going down. She's going down. She's down. You got your first deer. You got your first deer. You don't know how proud I am of you. She is down. Oh, what an evening. Congratulations, baby. Good shooting. You hit her both times. Good job. Give me 5. Oh, I'm so pumped up for you, baby. We had those bucks out here, and you made the right choice. Moving shot, no way. Big buck, you passed. This one, you were ready to squeeze. He ran off, and you got your first deer. It's a doe. We had the hunt of a lifetime. Are you pumped?
Yeah.
Give me 5. How about your mom over there? Are you fired up, Mom?
Find her.
Excited. I'm so proud of you.
I am so pumped. Congratulations, Taylor. What a monster doe. Look at the size of this doe, Trace.
Wow.
Look at this doe. Look at the shot. Look.
Daddy, I didn't pay attention on my shot.
Good job. Last night you had a shot at a doe, and you just missed.
Yeah.
And
Well, hi.
tell me about tonight. What'd you think when you saw that buck?
Well, I thought, first of all, I could tell it was pretty big on the horns. And I should have listened to you because I had my finger on the trigger. I heard him say ready, and I just got off. I was scared. And I'm just like, oh my God, I need to say something before I kill something.
Ugh.
And I just turned around and said, can I shoot it? And I was still on it, and I looked right in it in the scope, and then I looked over, and it was gone. I was like, oh God, there goes my big chance, but still. I thought I knew I was going to shoot a doe. Because by the time I shot it first time, I could tell it was just,
She got hit.
and you're like second turn, I'm like, oh yeah.
Why not? That's a good point. When you get a second chance, close the deal. And you closed this one, girl. Oh, congratulations,
You did a
baby.
good job,
Give me a
babe.
hug. Get up here and give me the biggest hug of your life. I'm so proud of you. Congratulations. You know, of all the things I've ever done in hunting, that hunt with Taylor is probably the most special. And it couldn't have ended any better. But now, you know, the rut was on. It's time to get back in the swing of things. This front was moving through. I had a special tree that I wanted to go hunt. Okay, we're here at the tree. There's the stands right there. I've got a wind. It's coming up this fence line, cutting out to this field. So I'm gonna put him on the downwind side of the tree. That way, if anything comes from way back that ridge, they'll come past the tree before they get to the decoy. It's not fit for man or beast, but it is fit for whitetail hunting. We really like these type of days because we had 4 inches of rain the last, 24 to 36 hours. And now the rain's kind of gone through. This is the back end of the front, and it's just misting. It's about 47, good temperature. November the 3rd, I mean, these ingredients excite you as a bow hunter. We got a rising moon. We'll see if we don't have some action today. I love the conditions. You know, I'm sitting in this tree that I couldn't wait to get to, but my mind was somewhere else. My emotions were running pretty high. I'm very excited to go see Taylor. Last year we went and didn't get one. This year she had a miss. We're going back after him though. We're not going to give up. Taylor was so excited to see those deer, and I think I was probably a little more excited. You don't know how proud I am of you. She is down. Well, it didn't take long to snap me back into reality. There's a big buck down there nudging those does. I'm gonna try and rattle it. baby. He is down. He is down. Whew. Saw that buck come out way down there. Then, oh, am I shook. We had such good luck this weekend. Taylor got her first deer. We came in, we hung this set in the rain. It's misty, it's nasty. He comes out way down there. I rattle, get his attention. He's just feeding the beans. I start grunting, snort, wheeze. He works all the way in, and I just shot him at 30 yards, and he is down at about 60, baby. How about them apples? Baby. Decoyed in, right there. He didn't get all the way into it, but he got close enough. Without that decoy, no chance we kill that buck. No chance. Right here, baby. Oh, what a buck. I am so tickled with this deer.
Look at that.
Yesterday was Taylor's special day. She killed her first deer at doe, and I was so excited. I was tickled to death for her, and I was excited to get back out in the woods because we had a miserable front the last 2 days, and it's kind of misty, rainy. We had 4 inches of rain. And here we go tonight. Hang the stand, put the decoy out, and then rattled in and grunted in 2 more. We saw deer all over the place, but it was so rainy we didn't get the camera out. And then this big guy, this big monstrous head of a bull-like whitetail comes walking out. Rattled to him, he was on his way. A few more calls and he came right in. I got on him at, I don't know, it was like a 30-yard shot. Hit him good, deer ran 80 yards, goes down. You talk about the completion of the dream weekend, baby. I'm telling you, you don't get 4-year-olds within bow range very often. I'm tickled to death. What a hunt. You know, as I think back to when I started hunting, I mean, it's a long time ago. I'll remember to the day that I die, that first spike coming in. And when I killed that first deer, I mean, the feelings you have, you just never forget it. And, you know, deer hunting meant a lot to me, but it didn't mean as much as turkey hunting and turkey calling. And some of my most fond memories in the field stem back to when I first started turkey hunting. It was before I could drive, and my mom would take me out every morning. She'd drop me off, and I'd sit in a turkey blind. And the first day that I killed that first jake, I'll never forget it. I was so proud of that bird. I'd been doing some turkey calling, and then I eventually got a longbeard one day, and I remember propping him up and getting pictures of him and some trophies that I'd won while I was turkey hunting. And you know, you only get to kill your first deer and your first turkey once, and those are memories that just last for a lifetime.
Every time that I go into Dry Creek Funnel, I get so fired up because of the luck that we've had throughout the years on that particular stand. There is nothing better than getting the northwest wind and going down into the Dry Creek Funnel is the stand that I call it, appropriately named. And it's one that we don't get to hunt near often enough, but I get pretty fired up when I know I'm going to that spot. Well, you know, we didn't even no more than climb up and had barely got our gear collected, and that happens pretty frequently because we're one that we don't get there none too soon. We wait until the last minute when we think the deer are going to start moving, and sure enough, man, that buck popped in on us real quickly. Had kind of a hard time getting on him, you know, on camera shaking a little bit and what have you. And I had to watch him walk right through. By the time he had walked through my opening, by the time he got off into the brush, I couldn't get a shot at him.
Pretty nice deer. Really nice on the left side. Walking up that hollow. I don't think he heard me as loud as the wind's blowing. I tried to grunt at him, but I don't think he heard me.
I just let him kind of walk on by, you know, and I had to shake my head in disbelief because it happened so quickly. But I thought, well, maybe there'll come a day where I might get another shot at him, another chance. Boy, I can remember when I drug in the first little fork horn, the first spike and what have you. Well, way back then, I was superstitious, and I wore the same football jersey every year in and year out for deer season, and I felt as though that was my lucky t-shirt. You know, you start out as a youngster, and you're shooting a few squirrels and a few rabbits, And I can fondly remember when we went back into our grandfather's farm, when they came in with the deer, you know, they hung it up down at the old granary down there, and Mark and I as little bitty children can remember, you know, all of these stories of how they were dragging in game. And you know, those memories of when you're real small and you look back on them, those are the ones that you never ever forget. And it has changed Mark's life and my life forever. As the season rolled on, I couldn't get that buck off my mind. I continued after him, but before I knew it, gun season rolled around. We finally had the Drury contracting guys to come into camp, and firearm season was upon us. I couldn't wait to get into the orange and get back into action. Well, we're heading out again. Going to one of our favorite spots. One of the Dry Creek Funnel, we call it. There's the wind has picked up. It's gotten really cold. Well, my thermometer's showing ice. It's below 32, it's freezing. And the wind is probably, I don't know, 15 mile an hour, something like that, 15 to 20. And this one particular spot is down in the base of this draw, and it's really protected from the wind. The wind is not even an issue down there. It barely blows at all. So we're gonna go down in there, and I know there's gonna be deer bedded nearby. We usually run them out of there when we go in, which is not the best thing in the world, but we're using this a firearm season, which is a little different than, you know, hunting with a bow. So we'll give it a whirl and see what happens here. There was really only one spot that I was crazy about going to on a northwest wind with a real nice high pressure system. It was the same exact spot where I had the encounter during bow season.
I'll get my safety belt on. First things first.
I knew there was a pretty good buck in there, and there wasn't much going to stop me. About the only thing that stopped me there is if Mark slipped in there ahead of me. He's good about doing that.
Safety on. I'll tell you something else I like to do. Check your shooting lanes. Look for any limbs and all that sort of thing.
Boy, when I start thinking back over the years of some of the nice deer we've taken and have seen out of this tree,
Boy, talk about deja vu. He is on the exact same trail that Mark's deer was on 1 year ago today.
it happened so quickly, but I thought, well, maybe there'll come a day where I might get another shot at him, another chance.
Yes, he was down. Oh, man.
awesome. We talk about that full moon all the time. You guys hear us talk about it. High pressure. We've had low after low after low. We had a double low this morning. It was one low on top of the other low. And the deer movement has been really, really subdued. It's been poor. And we finally got a high pressure evening, and man, the deer just all moved this evening. I'm gonna go check him out. He's a nice buck.
I was so fired up after I saw which deer it was, because it was the one that I was actually after. I knew he was in there, and I couldn't wait to get back to camp to show the Drury Contracting guys. I hope they're excited. I know I certainly am. Hey! Hey! Wow. How'd everybody do this evening?
Not as good as you. Good buck.
They always say a blind hog can find an acre every once in a while.
Nice old deer. Congratulations,
Hey,
sir.
thanks. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Congrats. Good buck.
Thank you. Thanks, guys. Thanks.
Awesome.
Yeah,
180.
180 pounds.
It was neat to get him weighed. You know, everybody was curious to see just how heavy he was, so that was kind of a highlight. I felt so excited to have those guys in camp. You know, everybody was having a good time. We were telling a lot of stories. It was just a lot of fun. Eating, drinking, it was a good time. Next day, those guys were so fired up they couldn't wait to get back into the timber, so I had a little bit of work to do. The Polaris sure made it easy to do the photo shoot. I always like to take a few photos with the deer, and got him into a beautiful, lush biologic food plot there. Snapped off a few photos for really, really long-lasting memories. Well, the hard work is over, and all I have left to do is bask in this beautiful morning sunlight with this great deer. He's real heavy horn, real wide, big old head on him, and I'm assuming he's a 4.5-year-old buck. I don't know, it was just one of those evenings we got lucky. This deer got within bow range. Heck, he was 30 yards. I was just tickled to death to be able to harvest the animal, and you know, now all I got left to do is get him to a locker room and get him processed. But I wanted to enjoy this beautiful morning.
Hi, I'm Keith Keene. I'm 36 years old. I live in St. Genevieve, Missouri. I work for DeerCast Contracting in the construction industry, and I've been hunting for 25 years. I was about 10 years old when I went on my first hunt. It was on some ground we own near my hometown, St. Genevieve. My father took me. I remember Dad having to help me hold the gun, and he told me to concentrate really hard and explain to me where to aim and everything. And I remember pulling the trigger, and the deer ran off, and I was just frustrated as could be. And Dad was sitting there reassuring me that, you know, I hit it and we would find it and all that stuff. So we went looking for it, found the blood trail, and walked up on the deer, and then found his first buck I'd ever killed. And it was just one of the most special moments of my life, being there with Dad, sharing that moment. It's just one I'll never forget, ever. I go back to that spot now. I have a son that's 11 years old, and I take him out there now and always tell him a story of this is where I killed my first deer with my dad, and hope that me and him can share the same feeling that I shared the day I killed my deer.
Well, you know, we always have tandems that film together pretty much most of the season, and Keith Keene and Rod Wilson usually spend most of their time together, but poor old Rod isn't going to answer the bell. He's sick as a dog, so I offered to film. Is this the one you're looking for, Keith?
Yep. He could be up there, couldn't he?
Absolutely.
This is it's so thick in there.
Can you film?
Yeah, you can film great up there. Wait till you see the view you're going to have when the sun's coming up. All right, we got to go.
This is going to be the first time that I've ever had the opportunity to film Keith, and I'm really looking forward to it. Well, we made our way in there as quietly as possible. We got all settled in and heard the turkeys. They were just making a racket, you know, cackling, and a few of them were yelping real heavy, and a little bit of cutting and so on and so forth. So we knew it was going to be a good morning, or had a good feeling anyway. Well, it wasn't long. We didn't no more than get settled in and saw this, looked like a big 9 or 10 point. He had a real wide rack. He wasn't real heavy, but he skirted through in the brush. And Keith tried calling at him, but we just couldn't get him to respond. And I'm not so sure that the buck didn't hear him. I don't think he heard him because he was a little bit too far out of earshot.
just heard a good grunt right down here, right in front of us. A good, heavy, deep grunt. Right here in the brush.
Sure enough, then the same buck that we had seen earlier in the brush decided to try and come back in again, and we got a little bit better look at him this time. You know, he came through and Keith tried grunting at him, but we just didn't get him to respond. Well, with all those bucks up on their feet like they were, Keith decided he was going to try and rattle, and I too thought that was a great idea. They were on the prowl. He didn't no more than get his rattling sequence done, and wasn't long, and we looked up, and I could not believe my eyes. All of a sudden, this big old buck was coming right for us, staring straight at us. You know, it's funny what a guy will do to try and get a deer to come back in. I was so desperate, I thought, well, I'd just snort wheeze with my mouth, you know. But they never come back. They never, ever come back.
I can't believe it. Climb up here in a perfect wind. Lo and behold, you know, we see a nice shooter buck earlier. And now this big old deer walks out right in front of me. He had me shook. He was right here. He looked up at us. He turned sideways, started walking. I had a little bitty hole to shoot through. I rushed my shot. I did not set in well on him. I just rushed it, shot right over his back. Boy, Rod's gonna love this.
Hi, my name is Rod Wilson. I am 36 years old from St. Louis, Missouri. I am a pharmacist and I've been hunting for 25 years. My first deer harvest, I was 16 years old in Missouri, where I grew up, and it was rifle season. And a little fork-horned buck walked up and I killed my first deer. And I'll never forget that either, because I drug that deer up 80 yards up a hill that was 90-degree slope, and just to get that thing back to the truck to show Dad. He gave me a big hug and took big pictures, and we treated that deer like the biggest buck that I've ever killed today, and it was that important to us. It's the most important thing I look forward to outside of my son and my wife is spending time with Dad each year. We used to duck hunt. Now I got hooked on deer hunting, and he kind of moved over with me. And every fall we spend time in the tree together, hunting together. It's the most time we get to spend together all year, and I wouldn't trade it for anything.
Boy, what a beautiful morning. We just got in the stand. We have a perfect wind up here, blowing us right off this huge bluff. About 100 yards below me down here, we got a 4-acre field of clover with biologic and buck oats. And about 150 yards off to the right over here, we've got some cut beans with some more biologic and buck oats. There's a huge bluff that drops off right here. Creates a funnel. These bucks that want to travel back and forth between these food plots checking for hot does have to funnel right through this area to get between the two. Great spot. We should see something this morning. Deer's coming down the ridge. Oh, it's a real big buck. I'm really shook up. We got trail camera pictures of that buck, because that's the one I think it is. He is huge. He was standing out here forever. It's had me so shook up, I'm shaking like a leaf. I can't even talk right now.
Look at this deer. I am in shock.
What an absolutely beautiful white-tailed deer. This deer is twice as big as anything that I've ever killed before. I have worked so hard and so long to get this deer, and truth be told, I have to thank my cameraman, Keith King, this morning.
You gonna get him go hunting this morning?
I didn't want to get out of bed. I've had the flu for the last couple of days. He made me get out of bed.
Come on, make up your mind.
We were going to go hunt a stand a couple hundred yards from here where we had an encounter with a beautiful 9-pointer about a week ago. We got over here, and as soon as we crossed this creek bed, he said, I've got a feeling. We got to go up to the Hog's Back Funnel, which is what we call this stand. It's up on the peak of this ridge, and it's a funnel between two deep hollers, this creek bed, and two food plots, which is a great place to hunt this time of year. We got biologic and buck oat food plots on each side of it, and these bucks travel back and forth looking for does. And this morning, this guy was doing exactly that. He came cruising through there, and he caught our wind. And luckily enough, he didn't booger too bad. He just took a few steps, quartering away on the other side, made a shot on him, a little high, dropped him right there. He rolled down this bank, and we could see him expire from the tree. I couldn't be happier. I mean, this is what I've always dreamed about, and it's finally come true. What a great day. I love it.
Well, we're heading back to the cabin after the best morning hunt of my entire life to go get some help to pull that big boy out of the creek. I've been waiting for this drive for a lot of years. It's awesome to come out of the woods, get to go back and ask everybody else for help to go get him out for a change. The look on my dad's face is gonna be priceless when he sees that deer. Last year I dedicated myself to trying to film him. He turned 70 last year, and I wanted to get him on film killing a good buck, so I didn't get to hunt too much myself. And I know he was really wanting me to get a chance at one this year. Well, boy, did I get a chance at one.
That is a dandy big guy. My time ain't it? You was due, buddy. Good dad. That is a monster.
It's a big shooter. He won't come up here. He's staying right on those does track. He won't come to the call. I'm trying to get his attention, but he won't do it. Whew, what a buck. What an encounter here on a cold, cold morning. November the 8th. I love the 7th and 8th. That's a big deer. Big deer.
Okay. How many big bucks can you see in 5 minutes? God. That thing's bigger than the first one. Went through a big 10-point. Looks like a 4-year-old buck or older. 170 class buck. I mean, just awesome. Turn around, and I mean, he's right there, and he came to all that calling we did to get the other one in. We were calling, and then this sucker sneaks in the back door, which I hate because, you know, they come in straight downwind. There's nothing like educating a big old buck. Bring him into calling, and then let him get a good whiff of you. Look at the time. 10:30. Ooh, I hate when they smell you like that. I hate that. Normally, they don't smell me that bad unless Terry's with me. Because Terry really smells really bad. But today I got my old buddy Jared with me. They must have smelled Jared. They couldn't have smelled me. That was a good encounter. A lot of fun right there.
Growing up hunting was very important to me. It's made me who I am. Spent a lot of time in a duck blind. My dad would take me out there, and I would spend more time, just watching wildlife. And as I got older, he'd take me deer hunting, would turkey hunting. He'd let me, call a little bit. As I got a little older, got into to bow hunting. They bought me my first bow. I got it for Christmas. It was kind of a surprise. Went and got it all set up, and was so excited about it. The next fall, I harvested my first deer. It was a button buck, and I've been hooked ever since. I feel like I'm very fortunate to have the job that I have. Working for Galleons allows me to meet a lot of neat people, help people select equipment, help them choose what would work best for them. Very lucky to be able to live the outdoor lifestyle and also to work it. Well, finally got some time off. Just had to stop and get some gas here real quick. Rodney called earlier, and he got off early.
Let's change things up a little bit this evening, and you bring your bow, and I'm going to get behind the camera and film, and you do the hunt tonight. What do you think?
I haven't really had much time off. Just can't wait to get out there and hopefully make something happen.
There's lots of good signing there, and he hasn't got the bow hunt this year at all. It's going to be his first night in, and hopefully we'll have some good luck.
I don't know if you can see them over there, but there's some great big rubs. We've been seeing some bucks in this area, southwind. Hopefully we can get some good footage and maybe get a great big one kill.
Was really excited, was in this area that was just unreal. The big rubs and the big scrapes was just one of those places that you dream about. Saw a really nice deer in the bottom of a ditch, grunted at him, rattled at him. He just really wouldn't pay a whole lot of attention. He moved on off there just a little bit, kept thinking maybe he's coming, It wasn't long after that, looked down in the ditch and saw this deer. It was just unreal. Just a monster whitetail, a big mature whitetail. Grunted at him, rattled at him. Again, he just wouldn't pay attention. I just couldn't figure him out. They wouldn't respond to anything I was doing. Wasn't long after that, had a doe and a fawn come out, watched them, kind of passed time there by a little bit, and it started getting darker. And what do you know? I look over to the right and see this deer come up out of a ditch, and he was heading our direction. He was working scrapes and making rubs, and thought he was going to come right on along. He kind of started moving off. I decided to grunt and rattle at him a little bit. He just really wouldn't pay any attention either. I decided I was going to give him a snort wheeze. I snort wheezed at him. His reaction was just unreal. He laid his ears back, the hair stood up on the back of his neck, and he just puffed up and come right in. I had to wait. The angle was bad. I had to wait till he was basically right underneath of us before I could ever get a good shot at him. I shot him. He barreled off into the ditch, started going up the other side, and I watched him come tumbling back down. It was the biggest whitetail I've ever shot with my bow. What a thrill.
He went crazy on me, but you know, it's so exciting for me as a cameraman to be there to film my buddy Mike like that.
God. Oh, Rodney, that is such... Now you got to get him out of that ditch. Rodney. You the man. Rodney.
That was such a high. It was just unreal. I was about to fall out of the tree. Well, it was just one of those nights. I really don't know what to say. We got some really good footage tonight of 3 really good bucks. And this was the third good buck that we had seen come in tonight. This big guy was just going right up through, working a couple scrapes, and I grunted at him, tried to tinkle the horns just a little bit. Didn't get much reaction out of him. He started to head off the other way, and I reached in my pocket and pulled out my mad snort wheeze and give him a little snort wheeze, and that was all it took. He headed right for the tree. I had to wait till he got about 10 yards before I could get a good shot at him. Shot him, and he went less than probably about 80 yards from where I shot him, and it was just an awesome evening. Thank you to Rodney. I sure owe everything to him.
This deer we're hunting is one of the biggest deer I've ever laid eyes on. I'm gonna concentrate the rest of my efforts probably on the whole Missouri season to try to get this one deer. I'm probably gonna pass up deer that most people would give their eye teeth to have. This deer he got under my skin really bad Thursday night when Mike harvested his deer. It's a world-class deer, and there's not very many people have laid eyes on a deer that size, and I wanna really get after him. We're gonna put some pressure on this deer. We're gonna try to harvest him.
Stand about a mile walk in from the truck, and then dressed very warm. I left a lot of my clothes off till I got a little closer. As you can see, we got 2 pretty active scrapes right here, and the whole area right here is white oaks, and it's just littered with acorns. A lot of the bucks we've been seeing have been traveling along this ditch. It's a good setup. Everything looks good. Hopefully we get a big one.
But when we first seen this deer, he was up on the hill about 80, 90 yards away from us, and he was feeding on acorns.
Right.
Man, what an opportunity. Get a shot at a deer of that caliber. It's worth all the hours I've spent practicing. It's worth all the hours that I've sat in tree stands dreaming about a deer that size. He's a world-class deer. I just shot him at 33 yards, made a really good shot on him right behind the shoulder. It's the type of deer you dream about all your life. That is a pig. All your life for something like this. And then captured on video, it just doesn't. He's got everything you could want on a whitetail. He's got long tines, long main beams, this little sticker, cheater, whatever you want to call it. He's got points coming off the back. He's got split G2. He's got kicker there, kicker here, kicker here. I don't know, I've counted him up 2 or 3 times. He's got 19 to 22 points. It depends on how sticky you want to get about it, but score doesn't matter at this point. But unbelievable. What a deer. When I let the arrow go, it was like all the emotion that had built up inside of me for the last 25 years of hunting, trying to get a shot at a world-class deer like that. It was just pretty much overwhelming. Hunting for me when I was growing up was basically a time to spend with friends and just to get out in the woods. And I was more a self-taught hunter than anything. Didn't really have anyone take me out, you know, per se, like fathers and uncles and stuff like that. Basically, it was just me and some of my friends. We just get together and go out and learn the outdoors by ourselves. Just old country boys, just went out, you know, explored the woods, went hunting. My first deer was a doe, and to me, that deer still holds the most memories of any deer I ever harvested in my life. My little brother was with me. You know, it was just one of the thoughts and moments that you'll cherish for all your life. Well, we're headed into western Kansas. As you can see out the window here, boy, don't look much like whitetail country. Pretty flat, not a lot of woods. Well, you go from an emotional high of killing a world-class deer. You travel 300 miles to hunt in Kansas. Haven't been out here to this spot for 2 years. 2 years ago, I killed a 156 out here. It's nothing like your normal, what you'd think would be whitetail habitat. It's basically open prairies and shelter belts, but boy, there are some big deer out here. Get out there, you do all the work, scout, and then what happens? You have a 150, 160 inch deer come in. Rattled him in, stops, looks at the decoy, which is back underneath us. He's really excited. You can tell he's got saliva dripping out of his mouth. He kind of picks us out of the tree. The cameraman kind of bumped the tree. Deer settled down, started scraping, turned and walked broadside, 22 yards, shot right over top of him. That's life, you know. I'm human. Everyone misses. That was a big deer. You know, I got to the point where I thought I was Superman. I hadn't missed a deer in probably, 10 years. And then look what happened.
My name is Ben Rising. I'm from Northeast Ohio, and I'm a logger. I've been hunting for 20 years. Well, I started hunting when I was approximately 7, 8 years old. Had gone a lot earlier at that age, but really was able to start doing and participate when I was about 7 or 8, and my dad and my grandfather used to take me hunting a lot. It's kind of a family affair. I mean, everybody in my family likes to hunt, and I really learned to hunt and trap at a young age. Trapping really helped me with hunting. And actually, we were trapping younger than we were hunting because we could do so. So really, that's what we do. I mean, that's all my family does, is hunt and trap and work.
November 8th was a good time this year. My good friend Jake I filmed it for me. It was a real good day. It was a typical rut hunt. We had a real nice buck come in on us.
I hear something.
deer kind of was acting skittish, and I think there was another bigger buck around that we just never saw. That baby's done. That baby's, he's done right there.
Good shot. It was a good hit.
Got a real nice shot on the deer, and he didn't go 50 yards and he fell over dead. It was a real great time. It was Jake's first film job on a kill, and he was so excited, and I was pretty pumped up. And I'll tell you, it all happened pretty fast, but it was a great day. Baby, I'm pumped now. That was awesome. I mean, it don't get no nicer. He walks right into the shooting lane. I mean, I grunted at him with my mouth a couple times. He'd go out, he'd come back. He kept acting like he's kept seeing something over here, and I don't know what he was looking at. Finally, I grunted at him enough. We got him to jump the fence. Smack, right there. Good job. All right. Jake was so pumped up, and he was shaking, and he was just really, really excited. It was just an awesome hunt. Things worked out real good, and I mean, it's just things you dream of. We're gonna go look at this buck. Let me see if we go over here and see if we can find my arrow. And hopefully it leads to a buck, because I think I saw him fall, but I can't tell for sure. So right here's hair, right here's where he was standing. And look at this blood. I mean, there's blood. I mean, it looks like somebody gutted a pig right here. See that dead tree?
Yeah.
It's right laying right on the other side of the dead tree. We had just a fantastic hunt this morning. This is what we come up with right here. Nice, beautiful, heavy racked 8-point buck. He's still a little bloody. We're trying to clean him up, but he really bled hard. I mean, his blood trail was unbelievable, and just an awesome buck. I mean, I am tickled to death. I mean, this is what I live all year to do, is to kill deer like this. And I've just had a great time, and it just doesn't get much better.
My name is Mike Joggers. I'm 48 years old. I live in Bloomsdale, Missouri. I'm a carpenter by trade, and I've been hunting for 35 years. My first memories of hunting were with Dad, and it was rabbit hunting. And that was when I was at about 9 years old. And now that I've got my own son, Wade's 15, I started him out right at about 6 or 7, following me around, doing the same thing. And I caught a bobcat one year, a big male, and as Wade held it up in the picture that I took of him, the cat was almost as big as he was, and he's been hooked like I have ever since then. And he's learning what hunting's all about. It's not that you've got to take something every time you go out. It's the camaraderie, it's being in the woods, it's learning every day that you're out there.
We're sitting here tonight on a well-traveled path from a bedding area to a cut bean field. That's what we're going to do, is take the first mature doe we see. And if it works like it has here in the past, that won't take too long, I hope. This doe coming up. Yes.
Crack.
Well, that worked pretty good. Well, here she lays. Now the work begins.
We came in here this evening with a plan to take a big doe out of the herd, and that's just what we did. We stuck to our plan. Out of this particular stand, we knew where the bedding area was and where the crop field was. We knew the route that these deer take, fairly regular, and we came in a little bit early. We got low pressure, kind of a misty day. We thought maybe they might move early, and that's exactly what happened. She came wandering through about 3 o'clock, and we finished up our hunt. It worked out good.
Hi, I'm Eric Bouthen. I'm 25 years old. I've been hunting for 15 years, and I work for a family-owned trucking business. When I first started, my dad had hunted a lot. Him and his buddies had hunted, and he'd waited for me to get old enough to hunt. And he was pretty pumped up the first time I actually got to go out and hunt. And I can still remember him taking me out that first morning with a thermos of hot chocolate, and he'd actually start smiling and looked over at me, and I was just a young pup then, and he'd smile, and I could tell he had joy in his eye to take me out and be the first person to take me out deer hunting.
We sat down this other side of this draw last weekend, and I seen a couple nice bucks running this ridge. So I figured, we're gonna come sit over here, so we'll give her a try and see what happens. I mean, there's no fresh sign around here, but there's a food plot right up there, so there's a bedding area right here, so something's gotta come. You know, it's all cedar over there. Something's gotta come along. So it's a good spot. We're gonna sit back and wait and see what happens, I guess. There's two dandy bucks right below us right now. Yes. That is a monster. I come in here last weekend. I took my cousin Lee, big boy behind the camera. We were sitting right down there, and I seen two big bucks walk this ridge. I'm like, Lee, we're getting in here, we're gonna sit up here. No more than got set up here. And all of a sudden I look, here comes this big one. I just shot right here. And I couldn't have placed my stand in a better spot tonight. And I am pumped, yes! Oh, I never get sick of looking at that. What's that? Very nice. Look at that, Danny.
Boy, I look at this buck and I think somebody must be on our side, because me and Jason are actually really truly having a dream season. This is the 6th buck we've shot this year on video. And we're both tickled about it. I mean, the ball's been rolling our way. The deer have been walking down the trails to us and presenting great shots. I'm just tickled with this deer, and I mean, these deer actually should have got downwind of us, but I mean, we're wearing scent blockers and we're spraying down with carbon blast, taking our showers, and put all our clothes in our carbon bags. We put our carbon bags in Tupperware boxes and containers, and we do it all right. And I mean, it's turned us around this year. This is our 6th deer we've shot, and it's November 28th right now, and we got some more hunting. We got another month of hunting to do, so who knows what's gonna happen, but I'm tickled with this deer, and it's a hunt that I'll never, ever forget.
I'm Dave Reisner. I'm 34 years old from Cedar Rapids, Iowa. I'm a small business owner, and I've been hunting for 15 years. My first recollection of hunting was with my father. We were on a squirrel hunt, and I recall that I was trying to make my father proud and spot the next one, or and any little thing I heard, I'd be saying, "There's one, Dad. There's one," and he had to tell me to shut up a lot. But it was a fun experience. I think actually hunting has probably brought my dad and I a lot closer. It's kind of come full circle, and I like it because I'm taking him on hunts, like I took him on his first turkey hunt, and that was really neat for me because he was there on my first deer hunt and I was there on his first turkey hunt. Got to give back to him a little bit of what he gave me and what he hooked me on this hunting and great outdoors.
Well, it was the last day of first season shotgun in Iowa, and I really wasn't sure what we'd see. I knew we were going to the bean field because on the last day I was gonna leverage my bets on that because it's been good to us before. With that snowstorm that had hit, I really wasn't expecting to see a whole lot.
Well, we're going to our famous little bean field. We've got a lot of snow on the ground. It's still, the front's still here. I don't know what we're going to see tonight, but it's a Wednesday night, which is the last night of first season shotgun in Iowa. This is my last chance. It's either tonight or my tag goes unfilled. I'm willing to shoot a doe at the end of the night to do my part. If you can't get a buck, at least shoot a doe, fill your tag, get some table fare, and do some good for the herd. As you can see, we got snow. Snow's all over the trees. Beautiful northwest wind. That's a perfect wind for this. Stranger things have happened on the last day of the season before, so I'm still optimistic.
I knew we were going to the bean field because on the last day I was gonna leverage my bets on that because it's been good to us before. This bean field's been pretty special to us over the years. I just know this bean field pays off. It's just a long line of success stories that we've had here. Yo! fell. That is a great buck. I don't even know what the fuck time it is. I have no idea. It's early, and that is a nice buck for the last day of season. I can't even believe it. I did not think this was gonna work. Terrible weather, but the sun came out this afternoon, and it is beautiful. It's a little windy yet. We saw this buck on the hillside, and then I lost him. I'm like, I can't find him. And I thought he went straight away from us. And all of a sudden he comes working out to the field. And then he was gonna cut us off. I'm like, I yelled at him, like, yo! Trying to get him to stop, and he stops, and I'm sure I put it on him. Oh, my fingers are tingling, seriously. Yeah. What a beautiful sight with the sunset and the snow, and it was just like a winter wonderland there. You know, it was a rewarding feeling having gone the whole season and not, and then all of a sudden a gift horse coming out there on the last evening. Blood right here. This is beautiful in here. See, like a little winter wonderland. Let's go find my deer. Well, when I wrapped my hands around his horns and, you know, I actually walked up to the deer, it was a gratifying feeling. Just an exciting feeling to know that, you know, you went out the last day and you were able to harvest just a mature animal like that. Here he is. This is my first snowy buck. I've never shot a buck in the snow before, and, you know, look at him. He is just a proud animal right here. And I'm a pretty proud hunter for actually having this all come together. But it's basically a fortune of lady luck rather than anything else. I just know this bean field pays off, and it was my last night to hunt. It's Wednesday night, and you know, here he came. He's just an awesome, awesome animal. He came out to the field so slow and then just kind of milled around. He didn't act like there was much out here, but he milled around a little bit, and then I thought he was going to leave, and I thought it was now or never, so I stopped him, and you know, the rest is history. Here he is. What a beautiful, beautiful buck. What an awesome hunt.
Hi, my name's Steve Kuhn, age 43. I'm from Arnold, Missouri. I'm a police officer. I've been hunting for over 20 years. Well, I started hunting about 30-something years ago. I was about 9 or 10. My father was a big squirrel hunter back then, so he would always take me out squirrel hunting. I started learning how to hunt in the woods that way, and it was pretty exciting because he used to set me by myself and leave me, and I'd come back and I'd have 1 or 2 squirrels on me, and he'd be pretty proud of me. When I go out there, I attempt to harvest a big mature whitetail. I try to do what I can to take that deer, and it just keeps me coming back because they're smarter than we are. When I accomplish that situation, I'm really happy with myself. I'm pretty pumped about tonight. I got, this is my second doe on this particular farm. It's a 2 doe to buck ratio, so tonight's really important for me. I gotta shoot a second doe so I can be eligible for a buck next year. So 2 of my football teams lost this weekend, so I'm kind of upset, so I'm gonna get even tonight. Doe walks out tonight, she's mine.
First one's a big doe. See the front one? I'll take her. She gives me a shot.
Yes! Pow! Pow! Whew. Man, I tell you what, we came in here knowing these deer would come in here, and I tell you what, she got in here, and I mean, dropped right where I shot her. I mean, that is just perfect. Yeah. Pow! Pow! I tell you what, that's very important. This deer right here was on this particular farm. Our buck-to-doe ratio, we really watch it. And myself, I'm a 2 doe per buck hunter. So this here's my 2nd doe. So guess what next year is? I get to hunt a rack again. And I tell you what, I've been on this farm 5-6 years and I've seen some deer. I saw last year's sheds. I can't wait till next year. It's gonna be better than Christmas. Oh man, I was glad to take this doe. Very important.
My name's Jared Lurk. I'm 25 years old. I'm a pharmacist and I work in the pharmaceutical industry, and I've been hunting about 14 years.
Hunting with my dad back then, I mean, that's really why I think I'm the hunter I am today. It was always safety first and then a good time second. You know, you had to enjoy the game, you had to respect the game, and you had to have a lot of fun with your friends and family. I was probably 7, 8 years old when I first started rabbit hunting with my dad and all of his friends, and then that really slowly transitioned into deer hunting and deer season, and then came turkey season, and it's been a passion ever since. Well, we're back at the house, and I'm doing about the only 3 things I can do. I just finished eating lunch. I've got channel 362 on the TV watching the Weather Channel, and I'm about ready to plug my computer in or actually dial into the internet and check weather.com. All during the season, I log on to weather.com whether I'm hunting or not, and then if you go into hourly forecast, it'll give you hour by hour what the wind directions are going to be. And really, I don't know how I ever hunted without knowing what the winds were going to do tonight, tomorrow morning, and then the next night. And it's really been a big advantage for us and a very useful tool.
I spend every bit of free time I have during the month of November 15 to 18 feet in the air. But when it comes to the late season, you've got to get to where the deer are, and they're absolutely mauling this bean field in front of us. So we decided to come in on the wind we have today, build this ground blind out in a wide open CRP field with some cedar trees sprinkled here, there, and everywhere. We put this ground blind together, and we've got our fingers crossed. We've got a low pressure moving out, high pressure moving in right behind us, so things could shape up to turn out really good this evening. Very interested to know if that's actually a buck or a doe, because his or her antlers are still in velvet. Got pictures of that deer last year and this year, still in velvet. There's a cut cornfield 600-700 yards that way, and that deer was trying to get to it. Caught a little bit of our wind, and it may domino the rest of our movement that's supposed to be coming out right there where that deer went in with its flag in the air. Oh, it makes for tough hunting. Can't tell what he is. He's hidden by that hill and those beans, and he's got his head down. See all those flags going over the top of the hill there? Man, when it's the late season like this, the rut happened a month ago. These deer are in a feeding pattern, high energy, high protein on the beans, but it takes next to no excuse at all for the entire field to clear. I mean, it was shaping up to be a good evening. Had a shooter right there, 100 yards. Just wasn't there long enough for the shot. All the deer. Sounded like an army going back in those woods there.
What a great encounter. And I tell you, a couple days after that, we got a great picture to that deer. But the other thing we got was an awesome double beam buck. He has 2 main beams on his left side. Man, wouldn't it be nice to see that guy? It's gonna be a long Christmas break thinking about those 2 bucks. I'm ready to get back up here and get in a stand. Fresh foot of snow on the ground, temperatures below 0, wind chill 10 to 20 below. You know, almost so cold you don't want to go deer hunting, but you know, this is what I live for. I'm rolling the dice, if you will, going to a standing cornfield, climbing up in a metal deer stand, and keeping my fingers crossed and hoping for the best.
We've been hunting in some treacherous conditions. I mean, it's almost beyond belief that we actually went out and went hunting, even though we knew tonight's the night, because that front blew through. The high today was 8 degrees. With the wind chill right now, it's negative 10 below and dropping. It's a sunny, high-pressure day, though, so the deer are going to be on their feet all evening. We'll just keep our fingers crossed and hope for that big buck to come out on this standing cornfield.
It's almost like high-stakes gambling because you've only got a few nights left. I had 3 or 4 spots I could go, but I made the decision. I've got to go to the standing corn. I'm rolling the dice and playing to win, hoping that the big boys are going to be on their feet in that cornfield.
There's a pretty good buck right there.
Turns out I made the right decision. I had to do a double take on that guy, but he turned his head once to the left and I saw that double main beam and there was no question which deer that was. I'm just waiting for him to move a little bit to give me an opening to his vitals. And I'm thinking, there's the shot. It's now or never.
He's down. Oh, baby. That is. Oh, my goodness. Am I worked up? It doesn't get any better than that. Big shooter out there in the cornfield. He dropped in his tracks. 110 yards away with a muzzleloader. Oh my God.
I look up, smoke's filled the screen, and all I see is that deer tipping over, and you want to talk about pure excitement.
Oh, wow.
The double beam buck. What an exciting feeling to sit down behind this big guy. 5-year-old, massive, unique characteristic deer, bitter cold conditions, but that's what it takes. Some days you question your sanity when you don't even see a racked buck at all. It's like, why are we out here? The high today was 5 degrees. The wind chill was 10 below. But you know, you're not going to kill one if you're sitting inside or sitting back at the cabin. So we were out there sitting on a metal tree stand, freezing our tails off. And we knew coming in tonight that there was a good chance we were going to get to see a 3 or 4 year old deer. And thank goodness he showed up and he was within gun range as soon as we saw him. Man, what an awesome feeling. This feeling never gets old, and it doesn't get any better than this. 10 inches of snow on the ground, bitter cold temperatures, and one happy hunter.
Well, I received a phone call from Dale Dunn at Dunn Sporting Goods in St. Charles, and Dale knows that I'm heavily involved in charity work in the St. Charles County area, and he told me he was working with Mark Drury at Drury Outdoors to put a hunt together for a disabled kid.
We immediately said we wanted to be a part, and Dale had the perfect place to host it. The Hash Knife Ranch, one of the most elite ranches in all of Kansas. We were going to be hosted by Ed and Jared Koger.
They were calling it the hunt of a lifetime, and Dale asked me if he thought my son John might be interested in the hunt, so I told him, without even calling John, that he would be interested, that he had wanted to do a lot of hunting, had done some with me when he was young before his accident, but that the accident had kind of curtailed that activity.
I was 16 years old, playing varsity football. I tackled a gentleman, went down on the ground. I felt a blow come to the side of my helmet. Went and looked for the trainer. Once I found him, he asked me to touch my fingers to my nose. I tried, completely missed. He said, touch my fingers out in front of each other. Completely missed. I sat out the rest of the game. Finally went to the doctor. Inner ear concussion, they called it. Little did they know I had bleeding on the brain. A month and a couple days later, I tackle a guy, head to head. I'm in a coma for 11 days. I'm in the hospital for a month and 6 days. Therapy for 7 months. Came back pretty good. Never be 100%, they said, but here I am today. My first trip out to Belvedere, Kansas, it went well. I was very excited. My first real deer hunt with a gun. I'd been before, but never with a chance to shoot the deer myself. So I was really anxious and really looking forward to it.
Been sitting here a while. Just had 4 does walking out in the field about 220 yards away. We got some good time left to hunt. Hopefully those bucks will see them out there and come join them.
There was many does around, maybe 2 or 3 bucks out in the field about 60, 70 yards away. Finally, that one buck that we had been looking at the whole time come walking up close to us. Had a chance. Took a shot, missed. It was tough.
The yardage was just a little bit much for a muzzleloader at that time of the year. The Kansas law states that they can't have a scope on a muzzleloader.
It was heartbreaking, but I had a great time nonetheless. I was sitting at home one day and I got a phone call from my father. He said, guess who just called me?
We got the second phone call from Ed and said that he was, quite frankly, just hell-bent on John getting back and getting the opportunity to harvest the deer.
Very happy to hear that because I knew if I got a second chance, I would definitely be successful. We had noticed the day before how they'd come into the field, and we set up in our lawn chairs exactly where we thought they'd be crossing. It's about 2:30 in the afternoon right now. We're setting up just to try to get a shot on this corner. Last night these deer came right down here and then straight out. Hopefully they'll do the exact same thing tonight. Hopefully we'll get a shot at a big buck. We sat up on our chairs looking out over the hill where we saw the deer supposed to be coming in. Everything was peaceful and real pretty. About an hour and 20 later, clouds were just pouring in, gray, stormy looking. Wind picked up huge. It was getting really cold. The only thing I wanted to do was get up and walk around, try to get some heat going in my body. Talked to Jared and said, hey, how about we take a walk? He said, you got it.
Front came through and the wind picked up to about 20, 30 miles an hour, so we decided to get off that open field and come and sneak through the creek with this wind. And there's a nice 8-pointer standing right over there. We're gonna try to get down the creek, sneak up there and pop up the bank and try to get him.
When Jared took a look, he peeked up over that little ridge and he saw the deer was there. He mentioned to come up close as we can so we could see how to get in position. The belly crawling and the creek diving and these steep hillsides we were traveling, it was almost military style, the positions we had to get into to get to this deer, just to get a chance to shoot him. Finally, I got myself to a tree where I had a real nice rest on a down log, and I was real confident in my shooting ability. very last tree on the left. He just fell. I'm real sure. I'm real sure he did. Hell yeah. I think we got him down.
I swear,
He's only about 60, 70 yards away. I think we might have got him. And once I took that shot and I knew in my heart and my head that I saw that deer get hit, I was totally thrilled. I couldn't be more excited. I looked right at Jared, we gave each other a high five, and it was great. It felt so good to get my first deer in Kansas. Right there, I see him. We tracked the blood, we found it, no problem. We found that deer down. I looked at it, it was quite a great feeling. What an adventure, and what a thrill it was to get my first deer. My father, who had accompanied me on the trip, was about a quarter of a mile away on this tall hilltop. So we all decided to play a little trick on my old dad. He said, well, how'd you do? With a sad face, I said, no, we missed again. Oh, you know what? I lost my glove too.
And traipsed around looking for this glove, and they said they finally found it.
So he come running over, and when he came over and saw what I had, it wasn't a glove. It was the head of that deer that I shot. So he was, what is this? You guys told me you didn't shoot a deer. What, now you have one? Well, we tricked you, Dad.
They had a good time laughing at me that night.
I saw you over here screwing around. I wondered what you were doing. Oh, that is awesome, that cool? John.
And we had a heck of a hunt. John decided he wanted to head on down into the timber and get out of that wind. And so we started sneaking up, just working our way towards this big alfalfa field. And we got about 250 yards out, and I noticed this deer standing there. We kept sneaking. He got about 50 yards from him and elected to take him, so he made a great hit on him, and he only ran about 80 yards, and it's a pretty good deal.
Real nice, real nice. I'm real happy here at the Hash Knife. I want to thank Ed and his son Jared being the guide. They were wonderful to me. Perfect accommodations, great trip. First deer, beauty. I'll take them. I'll tell everybody about the Hash Knife. I'm real proud and real happy. It was a great thrill for me to have my first deer, but what made it even more enjoyable for myself is that my dad came along with me on the trip, and he got to be there right there with me.
The accident kind of changed John, as all head injuries do, and for a while there after the accident, he kind of lost his taste for hunting. Brain injuries just really have strange effects on kids, all people. But anyway, when the opportunity presented itself, I was real excited because I wanted my son to get back into hunting. And this opportunity presented itself, and we took it, and it was very exciting to get to see John hunting again and be able to harvest his first deer. It was really cool.
It was such a blast, such a thrill. I'll never stop now that I know how much fun it is and how exciting it can be to finally get one.